killing of Jamal Khashoggi has sent diplomatic shockwaves across the world, with many urging Saudi Arabia's traditional allies in the West, the United States and the UK, for example, to rethink their relationship with their strategic ally in the Gulf, to rethink arms sales and investments. Here in London, the Saudi royal family and its friends have always received a warm welcome. But so too have members of Saudi Arabia's dissident community, including غانم al-Dousrي, a YouTube blogger and political satirist. In August, he was beaten up by men he claims were sent by Riyadh to silence him. I'm Simon McGregor-Wood, and I've spoken to غانم al-Dousrي one-on-one.
We saw him welcoming the son of Jamal Khashoggi. It's like nothing has happened.
The cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups.
He lied to the whole world when he says Jamal has left the consulate.
Somebody really messed up.
Very young and ruthless in Saudi Arabia. Nobody will dare conduct action without a permission from the king or the crown prince.
غانم al-Dousrي, Saudi exile, political satirist, YouTube blogger. Thank you very much for joining us here one-on-one.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So we're meeting in the shadow of the death of Jamal Khashoggi. I want to ask you, first of all, how surprised, how shocked were you that he was killed in this way?
Well, I wasn't surprised the Saudis kidnap people from abroad, but I was shocked they have done it in another country's soil, in a consulate, with a premeditation to kill him and dismember his body. That is a new approach from the Saudis, and it shows me they are getting out of rage, and they think they can get away with it.
So this, in your view, this wasn't a kidnapping, this wasn't an attempt to warn him, this was out and out designed from the very beginning to kill him?
Absolutely. The Saudis says they tried to negotiate with him and trying to convince him to bring him back to Saudi Arabia. But when you are negotiating or trying to convince someone, you only send one or two people to do that. But they have sent 15, and one of them is expert in anatomy and dismembering bodies. So I don't know what type of negotiation they're trying to sell it to us and expect us to believe it.
Who ordered his killing, do you think?
I have no doubt that in Saudi Arabia, nobody will dare to conduct action like this or without a permission from the king or the crown prince.
In your view, which one of them was it?
The crown prince.
Mohammed bin Salman?
Yes, sir. Mohammed bin Salman, yes, with no doubt. He's in charge of everything, and I don't think the king was aware.
This narrative that it was a rogue operation, people who might have been trying to do something to please the crown prince, you're not buying into that?
No, nobody will please him in that way. Nobody will dare to get two planes, get these people together and send them abroad to do that. And he knew the sequences, but except the crown prince himself.
What does it tell us about the crown prince and his personality and his methods? And I wonder, in a follow-up to that, if you put yourself in his position, how he could have thought he could get away with it?
Well, my personal view is that he thinks by signing contracts with the West, when he was here in London and met with the Queen, and then he went to the White House and signed all this, he thought by signing this contract, it's like, okay, they will not say anything about me, and I can do whatever I want, not even inside the kingdom, but outside in international soil. So this is my point of view, and he thought he will get away with it. And in a personal level, I think he's very young and ruthless, and on top of that, I think he's psycho, to be honest. And this is my...
Psychopathic, you think?
Absolutely. Nobody will do such an action like this to innocent man. That man has no weapons. He has a pen, and he just writes his own opinion. So if he's willing to do that, and if he's willing to get him killed and his body dismembered, we don't know where his body is. And he tried to deny anything. He lied to the whole world when he says Jamal has left the consulate in his interview with Bloomberg. And then he, with the international pressure on him, he have to admit, but he framed it in the 15th. So, and we saw him welcoming the son of Jamal Khashoggi, and it's like nothing has happened. I was wondering what is going through Jamal's son at this moment when he's shaking his hand. And there is, a picture of the incident, and it tells us a lot. I think he was saying, "I'm shaking the hand of my father's killer."
Mr. Khashoggi was a critic, a well-known critic, a high-profile critic of the regime. You also are a critic of the regime. You have a reasonably high profile out there on social media. And I think you have been targeted, clearly not in such a serious way, but in quite recent times. I understand the long hand of the regime has reached out to you. Tell us about what happened to you.
Well, let me explain one thing, the difference between me and Jamal. Jamal was within the system. He spent his entire life working with the government. So they will not have it. It's, when you're working with the Saudi government, it's like you are with a mafia.